This is the podcast you're looking for.
That's right.
Hi, I'm Griffin.
David Sims.
Griffin Newman. Welcome to Griffin and David present a
new podcast.
This is a new podcast.
Yeah.
I bet you're saying, yeah, but what's it called?
Uh,
That is what it's called. It's a new podcast, and it's titled A New Podcast.
Griffin and David present a new podcast.
This is, of course, the latest entry in the storied Griffin and David present franchise.
Yep. I guess no one really knows that we were going to do this. We didn't set this up.
We did at the end of the live show.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we did. We did set this up.
All right. Okay.
And first of all, hearty thanks to everyone who helped
Came out.
with the live show.
Definitely.
All our guests who were on the live show, everyone who came out to watch it, everyone who's listened to it.
It was a nice little capper for the whole experience of the three movies.
Yes.
And all the guests we had.
Yeah.
All the nice guests we had. I'm just checking to see if we have any reviews. But anyway.
I don't think there are any new good ones. But that was, we planned this big finale show because we finished off the trilogy.
It's true. We had planned it weeks ahead, and then at the last minute, we found out something.
That there were three
other movies. Yeah.
Star Wars movies.
They were made like a long time ago.
Made a long time ago.
Yeah,
now, in a weird process. So George Lucas made 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
By his explanation, they were test screenings.
Okay, well, that's the explanation of that madman we had in our podcast.
I said by his explanation.
Yeah.
And he continued working on them. He says he did not officially finish them until the 90s. Just 2 years.
Right, they were re-released with more completed, in his opinion, sort of special effects and so on and so forth.
Right.
He'd sort of,
Just 2 years before The Phantom Menace came out
Right.
and kickstarted what we're going to have to refer to as the original trilogy, the OT.
Right.
Because it's 1, 2, and 3. Chronologically, that's how things work. Now, we know that these films had a long production time. They started in the 70s.
Yeah. But, they were hugely successful test screenings.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the one we're discussing today was the most financially successful film ever made.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a fact.
When it was released.
Right, but George claims that was not released.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know why. He seems to love money.
I don't know. Look,
let's stop talking about George Lucas.
We're on the same page. We got to stop talking about this guy. But this is the point. We started this out trying to figure out what The Phantom Menace was about.
Yeah.
Then we tried to figure out if Attack of the Clones was a good sequel.
Look right at you, Griffin.
We tried to figure out if Revenge of the Sith capped off the story well.
Good conclusion. Was it a good conclusion?
Now we have these 3 additional films, right?
Yeah.
I think because of the precedent we've set and how we've, come about this, all we can do is look at this movie as the 4th Phantom Menace movie.
That's what it is.
Right. I don't care
1,
what order
2, 3, 4.
he made them in.
Yeah.
You know how long it took them to be finished?
And you don't care about bits.
I don't care about bits.
You just don't care about them.
I don't care. I don't
like them.
like
on a 4th movie, so we're going to talk about this as the 4th movie.
This is a direct sequel to Revenge of the Sith.
Jesus Christ. People
There's
are
a
going to
big
be so
time
angry
jump.
with us.
No, but that's what we have to do.
Uh-huh. Yeah. There is a big time jump.
Okay.
About 20 years.
So now that's the stage is set.
Ooh, should I get the opening crawl? We're not going to do the opening crawl.
We're
only doing one episode.
I know, but I think we're going to hit a lot of the greatest hits in a shorter, more condensed form.
But yeah, I'll pull up the opening.
Let me do a little housekeeping before we get into the movie.
Sure.
First of all, as always, rate, subscribe, review.
Oh, please.
Not only to us.
Go right ahead.
But to all our sister podcasts on the UCB Comedy Network. And speaking of the UCB Comedy Network, we are delighted, as always, to have working the ones and zeros over here wearing the cans.
Delish.
Producer Ben, a.k.a. Purduer Ben, a.k.a. the Ben Deucer, a.k.a. the Poet Laureate, a.k.a. the Haas, a.k.a. Mr. Positive, a.k.a. Birthday Benny. I'm going to bring that one back.
Oh, yeah.
Not his birthday anymore.
No, but hey, why not?
a.k.a. the Peeper.
Yep.
A.k.a. Producer Ben Kenobi.
Uh-huh.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You forgot Hello Fennel.
Hello Fennel.
Oh, man.
Ben Hosley.
It's Ben Hosley.
It's me.
The Haas.
Guys, I'm actually glad to be here to talk about these movies.
Oh, did you enjoy this one?
It was so good.
Pretty good.
Well,
it was really good.
Let's hold off. Let's not get into the reviews
Oh, yeah.
yet.
No, sorry.
Because
but
I think there's something we should talk about quickly.
Ben doesn't obey your schedule. He'll say what he wants.
a man of the people.
I just think there's something that we should talk about here.
Shoot.
What's up?
There's some exciting developments in the future of this podcast.
It's true. Should we lead that off? Should we lead off?
Yeah, why
Benny?
not? Yeah, you can lead off with that, sure.
I mean, we don't have to get into that much detail.
No.
But as part of a new deal that UCB has embarked upon,
Ben's like FDR, and he's brought us a new deal.
He's brought us a new deal
for the American people.
Essentially, like a distribution deal.
Yeah.
This podcast has been guaranteed another year.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Woo!
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And you might start hearing ads on this thing at some point. Maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
Now that's the thing.
we're gonna pay the bills.
No, but I know this is the thing. Like,
Go on.
everyone's been, I really am touched by how much people seem to like this show, and our fans are very outspoken and very supportive.
Of course.
But I felt that caveat in every compliment I've received for the last whatever it's been, 8 months, 9 months.
It's been since March. Yeah.
Yeah.
9 months.
Yeah, we've made a podcast baby.
Sure.
The caveat's always like, it's
Great
good. I like
podcast,
the podcast. I wish you guys were reading ad copy.
Yep. I've heard it too. Every day, in fact.
Oh, no, you won't have to read ad copy.
Someone else is going to
What?
read ad
Who's
copy.
gonna-
It'll just, don't worry about it. This is
It'll
all
just get
technical
dropped right
stuff.
in.
Yeah, it's just going to be there.
Wait, I don't get to read it?
Nah.
Deal's
Well,
off.
let's just plug Squarespace.
Deal is off. Are
No,
you
because
kidding
you would
me?
just turn it into a bit. And this
I
is
won't turn it into a bit.
No
I respect
bits.
shit.
All right,
no
Griffin?
bits.
Okay, no bits.
Housekeeping?
Housekeeping. Another
Anything
year of
else?
this podcast. We're going to have
Another year.
advertising, but it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. I do think this is something we've talked about, and I want to throw this out to the audience on mic officially. The show is going forward, but we're going to be done with Star Wars at the end of this year.
Sad but true.
And so we've been trying to really hit what is this show? It's about us. It's about the three of us in this room going mad together.
Mm-hmm.
About the dynamic we've established.
It's about investigation.
It's mystery.
It's about cinema.
It's the Griffin and David mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
okay.
pop culture investigations. But it's also this thing we're obsessed with when people are given free reign, these
The blank
passion
checks.
projects.
Yes.
So it has been brought up that perhaps in 2016 we would rebrand.
Oh, you wanted to pitch this to the
I want to pitch this
listeners.
to the audience. I want to just put out feelers. I want to see.
All right. And then we'll get to Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been suggested by my brother that perhaps because
Oh, your brother.
Yep.
James E. Newman.
James E. Newman, because Griffin David Present does not tell you much.
No. It's
Other
also
than-
kind of annoying to search for.
Yes, that's the big thing. It's very annoying to search for.
It's all right, but
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah.
That's also, we didn't know what the show was at the time that we had to, pick
Yeah. Ben
the name.
kept just being like, guys, do you have a name?
Come with
And
the
we were
branding
like,
thing.
And he was like, Griffin and Simsbert. And I was like, yes, but it didn't happen.
We didn't know. All we knew was we wanted to talk about the Phantom Menace. We were just two
Yeah.
boys who wanted to talk about the Phantom Menace.
Just two boys.
And who knew what this would become?
Who knew?
We have a whole nother year, guaranteed, locked up, unless I cancel the deal because I want to read copy. But the idea of the podcast would function exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Rather than being Griffin and David Present, and then whatever the new name of the thing is for the miniseries we do, it would be blank check, .
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
blank check. Right.
Yes.
That was my idea.
Right.
I pitched it to you on Twitter.
Blank check. So it'd be like blank check presents or blank check : a new podcast.
Blank check. It's
And
blank
every
check.
time we did a new miniseries, the artwork would change.
Sure.
Great photoshops, everything else you love.
May I
you got?
suggest blank check with Griffin and David?
Yeah, that's what it'd be. It'd be blank check with Griffin and David.
Let's just make it longer.
a movie podcast.
Right. Produced by Ben
Presents.
Hosley.
Yes.
Produced by Ben Hosley.
A Ben
Colon.
Hosley joint.
Yeah.
And so-
yes.
Yeah.
Definitely a joint.
If you guys think that's a good idea, you should tell us. You should remember that would make more work for Ben. So that's like a positive.
Yeah.
That's a Mr. Positive.
That's a Mr.
in its
Positive. He's
corner.
loving it. He's so excited. He's licking his
No,
lips.
he's licking his
his
red
All right,
face.
go on. Give me more
negative.
work.
I don't know. Maybe you guys love the name Griffin and David Present. I don't know.
Yeah, look, I mean, if you've really come to know and love it and you're afraid to change, let us know. But
Yeah.
it's something we're debating right now.
Positive. It's similar to it's the title of a Disney movie that starred Tone Loc.
Yeah.
That I was a big fan of in 1994. I
And
believe.
isn't what's his name in it too? Mel Ferrer? What is it?
Miguel Ferrer?
Yeah, isn't he in it?
He might be. Let's find
I
out.
might be confusing with someone.
Yeah,
else.
Miguel Ferrer.
Yeah, he's
You've
one of the
got
bad guys
James
in it.
Rebhorn.
Yeah, one of the greats.
You've got Jane Atkinson.
Yeah.
She played the vice president in a TV show once, I think. And you've got Brian Bonsall.
I happen to love
That's
that movie.
the 12-year-old. Do you like that movie?
Yeah.
My big thing with that movie was I've never been more excited to see a movie when I was at that age. Like I saw the trailer and I was like, oh my God, he gets $1 million.
It's maybe the best premise
and
of all
buys
time.
toys.
Yeah.
And then we went to see it and it was sold out at
Oh,
the
no.
AMC 84th Street Lowe's or whatever it was called back
Yeah.
then. And instead we went to see Ace Ventura: Pet Detective,
Still good.
which is playing better.
I disagree.
That was my
Time
favorite
and place.
movie.
This is not the time for this argument. We have a lot of business to get to. But please email us
How long
at
we been
Griffin
going, Ben?
and David Present.
Yep, at Gmail.
At Gmail.
At
Griffin and David
gmail.com.
Present at Gmail.
Or tweet at us. Let us know what you think about the name branding. Additional offer I'm putting on the table. I'm going to regret this. But I have a lot of Comtech chips left over.
Oh, my God.
So if you want to email griffindavidpresent at gmail.com, I'm going to send out Griffmas cards. And the first, whatever it is, like 30 people to email me, I'll send you a Comtech chip as a Christmas present.
There you go.
So this is already something I know I'm going to be stressed out about in 2 weeks. But email us, Griffin Day Present. Ask for you can't make requests. I'll send you a Comtech chip.
Yeah, you'll just get one.
Yeah, but you have to in your email tell us what you think about. Should we be Griffin and David Present going forward, or blank check with Griffin and David,
or just whatever. Okay, I'm going to read the opening crawl.
Can I say something first before you do?
What?
I don't know if I'm crazy here. Okay.
Oh, God.
I don't know if I'm crazy here,
But
we've been going mad doing this thing. I don't know if my whole perspective is so skewed. My knee-jerk reaction to watching this movie, I think it's the best one yet.
I think it might be number
but
one.
I'm right about this.
I know, because
right?
usually it's like our order agreed. I think we agree our order is 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah.
But now is it 4, 1, 2, 3?
It is.
What?
I'm not wrong, right? This is the best one yet?
It's the best one yet.
Okay, let's read the crawl, because this movie starts out awesome.
It is a period of civil war.
Cool.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah, but
it's a period of civil war.
Not trade routes are blocked by
Rebel spaceships striking from a hidden base
striking motherfucker.
have won their first victory against the evil Galactic Empire.
Not a stalemate, they're winning.
First
it's back
thing
and forth.
we would associate with the original movies, the Galactic Empire.
Yes.
That's the thing the Emperor created at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
So we're jumping ahead 20 years. This is such a powerful force that it's been like 20 years of battle against the Galactic Empire.
During the battle, rebel spies managed to steal secret plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star.
Cool. That's that fucking shit that they had
the circular
on the
planetoid.
3D blueprints. That's cool.
An armored space station with enough power to destroy an entire planet.
What?
Blow up a whole planet.
Nuts.
Pursued by the Empire's sinister agents, Princess Leia...
Ooh.
That name's familiar.
Interesting.
Races home aboard her starship, custodian of the stolen plans that can save her people and restore freedom to the galaxy.
I mean, that's exciting.
Star Wars, and it's Episode 4, A New Hope.
That's exciting, and it's also it's tight. You know what I'm saying? Like some of
It's
the other
perfectly
crawls,
tight.
it was you had to read them 5 times to understand everything that was going on. This is just like there's a war. It's been going on. The rebels are making progress, but it's
they've won of their first victory.
Yeah.
So it's been a slow process, but they are finally getting some damage done.
Can I make one point right off the bat?
Yeah.
It is confounding that if you're watching this movie, as one would,
Oh boy.
direct sequel to Revenge of the
1, 2,
Sith.
3, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what comes after 3, 4.
How much less sense this makes with the forming of the Rebel Alliance scenes that George cut out of the last movie.
Oh, you're saying like you want those deleted scenes just to know that the Rebel Alliance is going to be created?
I think it's as a clear through line. No, look.
I'm actually, because you were prepping me. You were like, I've got some things to say before this podcast. Come on.
Oh, I'm not done with things I have to say.
Come on.
No, but I'm not saying the movie is. I'm not. This is not the fault of this movie. It's the fault of Revenge of the Sith, right? Yes, I can hear someone go, "Hey, there's a Rebel Alliance," and not go, "Wait, but where did it come from?" I'll accept it, right? Any good movie has.
There's going to be rebellion.
Of course.
Yeah.
But don't you think there is more added power to knowing that the Rebel Alliance we're seeing at the beginning of this movie is like the full tree that grew out of the seeds planted by Padme, by Bail Organa?
You know? I'm going to disagree with you. You know why?
Why?
It's pretty quickly established without us having to see those scenes. 2 reasons. Number 1, what's the first thing we see in this movie? The first thing.
Fucking Smith ship.
Smith ship. Straight boom.
Oh, this movie's killing it.
It's so good. It glides over the camera.
Yeah.
It's getting attacked by a big Empire ship. What's the second thing? Like the first hero we meet in this movie.
C-3PO, R2-D2,
Well,
motherfucker.
that's not what I was thinking of. But yeah, I was thinking of Leia. You know,
okay,
you got
but
Leia.
we do see C-3PO and R2-D2 first. We'll talk about Leia. We'll
But,
go
you
back
know,
to
we
C-3PO
get
and
it.
R2-D2.
Organa, he adopts Leia, the
She's now
daughter of Padme.
Princess Leia Organa.
I guess was he a king? Why is she a princess?
Yeah, I
he
thought he
was a senator. Is he also a king?
I don't know.
Whatever, not explained.
Yeah.
He's got her, he's raised her to, she's like 19, 20 years old now.
Yeah.
And she's like a fucking rebel captain. We get it.
But she's
on
like,
the Smith ship.
She's incredible because she's
This
on,
is so good, by the way. Oh my god, this movie is
so
amazing.
fucking good, David.
This is why I didn't want to do 10 episodes because it's just going to be us.
It's just going to
baby.
be us.
This is good.
It's a good movie.
Great
you have a
movie.
piece of cotton right on your
I don't think
eyelashes.
it's cotton.
There you
I
go.
think it's,
No, because it's like pink.
Oh, pink.
Yeah.
Cotton. Oh, whatever.
It looks like you still have it. It looks like a nerd. It looks like a candy nerd
not-
on your eyebrow.
God, I used to eat so many nerds.
It's right.
I know.
It's
I'm,
like
I'm
right-
putting on the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
yeah.
see.
See,
it.
it's
I
like
see
orange.
It.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right,
I got it.
I'll cut this out.
No, keep
No,
that in.
was great.
Keep that
Okay,
in.
all
Okay.
right.
So, but okay. Oh
How's it?
God, I don't even know what to fucking talk about first. Okay. So, Leia Organa, daughter of Bail Organa.
Right, but
Right.
we know
We know that right off
that
the bat.
she. No, but we know because we've seen 1, 2, and 3
Right.
that this girl is the daughter of Darth Vader.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who comes into this ship?
Darth motherfucking Vader.
There's like a big battle. The ship gets like dragged into this like Empire ship.
Yeah.
This big ship. And they like blow open the door and a lot of like guys in white, kind of like clone troopers, but like
Yeah.
not CGI.
Yeah.
No CGI in this movie, by the way.
No, there's some CGI.
Well, that's right.
We'll get
that's
to it.
true.
There's
right.
some CGI.
We're
David.
watching
Don't
the
say
Blu-ray versions, by the way, guys, just so you know that.
that. Yeah, here's the thing. It turns out those other discs
Yeah,
in the
they're
set
on the Blu-ray.
were
They were in
movies.
our collections.
We thought
yeah.
they were all special features. They're movies.
They're whole movies. We thought they were like fan fiction.
Yeah.
You need a peanut.
See, this is what
So
I'm saying.
Darth Vader walks in. He's the boss man.
He's the boss man.
James Earl Jones is voicing him.
Yeah.
He looks incredible.
A lot bigger than the last time we saw him.
Yeah, he's big.
The suit's exactly the same,
Yeah.
but he's larger.
Mm-hmm.
It's like not like, oh, Hayden like
A
beefed
little more
up.
imposing. Yeah.
He's taller.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he immediately is like, Leia. He's not letting on that that's his daughter.
No. Well, he doesn't know
He doesn't know.
because he wasn't there.
Because he wasn't there.
I
That's
think
a
he
good
thinks they died
That's a good
because
point.
the Emperor told him
That they
your
died.
kids died.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Bummer.
Bummer.
So, that's what I like. There's this delicious irony
Yeah.
present from the very first scene.
Yeah.
Vader's interrogating Leia, being like, "You're rebels. I know you're rebels. You've stolen these plans." And she's like, "What are you
She's
talking
like,
about?
I'm
I'm
a
a
princess,
diplomat.
I'm a diplomat.
Yeah,
I'm
this
just
is
checking it
this is
out."
a
Yeah.
peaceful mission. How dare you?"
Yeah.
Which is like a little ballsy of her because they did just like mow down her entire security force. Like, come on, she could have just at least admit it.
Yeah, but already in this first scene, Leia is acting the way we wanted Padme to act across 3 movies.
Yeah, I don't want to beef with Padme. Padme's fine.
I don't either. Padme's fine, but Leia is like Padme plus.
Yeah, it's
You
true.
know?
Yeah,
Leia's
it's
got
true.
a ton of agency, right? And she's fucking doing shit. This is what
We don't even see Smiths.
Yeah, Smith is not in this movie at all. And it's not like, oh, there's someone else playing Bail Organa. Not
There's
in
an
the
older
film.
Organa.
Right.
Smiths would have been 18 years old when this movie, 17 years old when this movie is shot, which is kind of crazy. He's a fucking old guy.
He's an old guy. Wow, jeez. But she's like really working the system.
Ben didn't like that.
No, and I like that. See, I'm not criticizing the movie for this, but I mean, it's tough because I have the scenes in my head, so
course.
I still can track them all.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that it's like her biological mother and her adoptive father started this thing, and now she's on the front lines, like continuing the battle.
Wrapped up in it.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think we skipped over some important stuff because
Well, we skipped over R2 and
Right, because this
the movie opens with them.
this movie opens with the Smith ship. It looks great,
Yeah.
and we see our old friends R2D2 and C3PO.
They're in the
walking
ship,
through it.
getting
Now,
blasted.
You almost forgot to mention there's a TC-14.
there's a fucking silver
There is.
protocol
There
droid
is.
right behind C3PO.
I don't believe-
Fine as hell.
Yeah.
Looks
Yeah.
fine
Don't-
as
I
hell.
don't believe it talks, but it's there.
Which means it might be TC-14.
Look, I mean,
you've been telling me that she's
you-
dead, David, but
Huh?
it might be her. If it looks like TC-14 and it walks like TC-14 and it smells like TC-14 and we don't hear her voice, then I'm going to assume that my lovely sweetie pie TC-14 is back alive riding the Smith ship just where I want her.
boy, oh boy. All
Not
right.
to say that she has to be where I want her. She can do whatever she wants because she's her own woman.
Yeah.
But if
Well, she's a robot, but yeah.
it's a cool place to see her be. Yes, all droids. The last time we saw C-3PO and R2-D2.
Was on that very ship.
Yes. And Bail
Smiths
Organa-
is like, wipe. I'm just going to call him Smiths. I'm sorry.
Sure.
It's just like, yeah, wipe the protocol droid's memory.
Okay, so C-3PO and R2-D2 have presumably been on the ship for 20 years. right?
I guess so.
I mean,
maybe they've been
Leia's
getting off at Alderaan where he lives or whatever, hanging out.
Okay, but this seems to be their main base of operation.
But they say that their guy is Captain Antilles.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
Captain
the fuck
Antilles
is
is the dude who Organa
he's
orders
on,
to wipe the memory.
Right, he's the sort of I know who he is.
Yeah, he's like wipe their memory. But R2-D2 remembers everything.
He does.
Okay?
But you can't tell anyone about it.
Well, because most people can't understand him. You know who can understand him?
C-3PO.
Right. And for 20 years, R2-D2 just hasn't been telling C-3PO shit.
I guess so. Or maybe he's been like referring to it in 3PO, who's a kind of a self-involved dude. We
It's
should
true.
acknowledge.
Sometimes he doesn't listen.
Has just kind of been like, what are you talking about? So.
But C-3PO seems astonished by everything that happens in this movie as if there's no precedent.
It's true. Well, his mind was wiped.
R2-D2's been around the block, and R2-D2's just being like, I don't know.
I'm not going to call him George R.R. Lucas a master storyteller, but he wiped his mind in the third movie. Great move, George. It explains everything.
So
Smith's just casually wiped his mind.
So
R2-D2,
who we in the past have argued is kind of a little brat.
Yeah, kind of a brat, kind of a sort of weird appendage to the story that doesn't seem like that important.
In this movie, they really kind of function as the audience surrogate characters.
They do, yeah.
We're introduced to them,
That's true.
and it's like, okay, here's a ship. The rebels are running around.
A lot of stuff is happening around them.
The Empire is about to board.
It doesn't have to be explained to us.
There's going to be a big shootout because it's like we're seeing it through their eyes, and they're like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and also you should, the visual storytelling is so much cleaner. It's like
so clean.
You've got Leia. She's in white. She's wearing a white robe.
Yeah.
She's very clearly the heroine here.
Yeah.
Vader comes in. He's all in black. He's like this dark, menacing figure.
Yeah.
It's like the simplest kind of storytelling, but it's like extremely effective. We get what's going on.
There's also a lot of silence. It feels very
And
reminiscent
sounds.
of the Genndy Tartakovsky
All right.
Clone Wars series. No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he has these beats. I mean, Johnny Williams is back and the music's as great as ever.
Yeah.
But I was surprised watching it how selectively he uses it. Because there are long sequences where it's just the sound effects of blasters going off and
Great sound
ships
effects.
moving, or literally just dead silence to build a sense of anticipation and dread and tension. There's
All right.
also a lot less dialogue.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's moments of kind of clunky expositional dialogue. It
look,
happens.
He's not a subtle filmmaker.
No.
But he doesn't need to be. If you're doing powerful storytelling, you can paint with a large brush and still paint a masterpiece.
Now, I feel like we need to get out of the scene because we only have one episode.
No, but there's stuff
God.
there's stuff I need to establish.
Because Leia puts the plans on R2, we should say that. R2 becomes kind of the story, literally the story is put in R2 for him to sort of carry it around the whole movie.
But I want to say this. I know you are afraid that we're focusing too much on one scene because we're only doing this one.
We're definitely
episode for this
focusing way
movie.
too much on one scene.
No, but this is something that I want to comment on that affects the rest of the movie. It took them 4 movies.
Mm.
They finally got the dynamic between R2-D2 and C-3PO down.
This is your point. Right. Okay. But it's in all the scenes, I would say.
Yeah, well, that's why I said I want to establish it
right.
here because then it continues for the rest of the movie.
It definitely continues for the rest of the movie.
The first 17 minutes of the movie, we're just sticking with C-3PO and R2-D2, really.
Yeah, Leia and Vader are in the background.
And we're sort of seeing them from the droid's perspective.
Yeah, a little bit, especially Leia.
Right, but they're sort of on the ship. They don't know what they're doing. They were just sort of like employees. Now the ship is, coming under attack.
R2 knows what he's doing.
Well, this is what's great. Okay,
Yeah.
R2 in this one's a brat, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, because he's like, come on, we got to get in here. You just get that he's doing that. He's kind of bum rushing C-3PO around, and C-3PO's like, why are we doing
like,
any of
no,
this?
come back here. And R2-D2's just like hitting buttons and changing things.
And he shoots him out in a little escape pod.
It's funny because R2-D2 seems like the less powerful one physically, but you know that he knows everything.
Yeah.
And C-3PO's an idiot because he had his mind wiped.
Yeah.
Which means he's essentially...
I wouldn't call him physically powerful.
No, but R2-D2
I
is
get
like
you.
a trash can.
Yeah,
you know?
but he's a little more durable.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just like this dynamic a lot. I think it's funny, and it finally makes sense why they're in these movies, not just because R2-D2 functions as such an important story point because the MacGuffin is in his tummy.
Yeah, right.
But also,
In his tummy.
it's in his robot tummy.
It's in his tummy.
But also because, they're a really good vantage point for us to understand this war that's so much bigger than us. So, Darth Vader, Princess Leia, he captures her.
He captures Leia.
Right.
Leia is kind of a prisoner for a good half of this movie.
But before she does that, she goes to R2-D2, she goes in a corridor, she pushes some buttons.
Yeah, she puts a little
puts
disk
a little
drive,
thing
like a
inside
big
him.
floppy disk
Yeah.
in his tummy.
C-3PO's like, where were you? Follow out. R2-D2 pushes some things. C-3PO's like, what are you talking about?
All right,
Pushes
you
him
don't
in.
need to narrate the whole
Escape pod.
movie. Yeah. They zap out in an escape pod. Where does
Boom.
it land? Tatooine.
Tatooine.
Yeah.
And there's a great moment I love where it cuts to two guys at like the control panel of the
At the Star
Empire
Destroyer.
ship.
Yeah.
And they go,
What's that?
The
And they're
escape pod?
empty.
They go, no organic life in there. No signs of organic life. Must have been an error. So it's just like
Idiots.
right.
Which, like, actually is, like, an abominable mistake. This is a world where droids do shit all the time. They have a lot of power.
Yeah, but they don't know. I mean, we have rarely, in the last 3 films, what's the strongest thing we've seen a droid do? Like, the droids seem very subservient, you know?
No, I know, but still, it could be programmed. But maybe no, there's droids everywhere. They're stupid.
This might be a turning point. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Like the Asimov, like the 3 rules.
We're going to move on.
They land on Tatooine. There's like 10 minutes
No, I agree with you.
where there's like not that much dialogue. I mean, C-3PO's complaining a lot, but it's not expositional. It's kind of humorous, like character
Let's
development.
compare this to the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
In the Phantom Menace, it's like they're in there. It's a similar kind of situation.
Yeah.
You know, they're leaving the war, and they have to crash land on Tatooine.
Yeah.
How is Tatooine introduced? It's like, let's land there. Well, we can't land there. It's controlled by the Hutts. The Hutts are gangsters. We could never, like, blah, 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 blah,
Is
blah,
that
blah, blah, blah.
illegal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. This movie, it's like they land on Tatooine. What do we get? A lot of scenes of the droids wandering through this, like, kind of blasted, you know, sandy.
Well, this is the best thing about this movie. It's like every 10 minutes. I mean, for once, George's like all that like the fucking jawing he does about like adventure serials and cliffhangers and that being his inspiration. It's like every 10 minutes there's a new super clear objective.
Yes.
And it's like get from point A to point
Yeah,
B.
and there's a new element like that
Right.
helps you understand the
You change
the
locations,
environment.
you add a new character.
So it's like
yeah.
you have R2 and 3PO stuck in the desert. They part ways, which is
because
like,
they're fighting.
Yeah,
but
'cause
but it's a good character work.
3PO's pretty crazy to abandon him. He's like, let's go this way into like nothing.
But on the other hand, like R2 pushed him into an escape pod.
No,
I think
sure.
C-3PO doesn't have the perspective to see that that was the right thing to do.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Yeah.
They're on this desert. And then, so we see R2 for a while on his own. This movie successfully tells the story of this voiceless droid.
5 minutes of him just
It's
rolling
great.
in the desert, and
Just
it's
like making worried noises,
and it's
basically.
like real desert, David.
Yeah, it's shot in Tunisia
Yeah.
where they show, where they shoot the Tatooine stuff.
Yeah.
You got these great, like, rocky, and then these little Jawa people, these little hooded,
Yeah.
sort of monk-like, bandits. I don't know what they are. Very
Speaking
weird.
gibberish. Yeah.
Like, is there a whole like economy based on like hopefully a droid crash lands on this shit planet?
Yeah, they're
It's
sort
weird
of
because they like kind of kidnap him.
yeah, it's like they're the equivalent of like recycling like can collectors.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, let's just roam around and go through the garbage and find all the cans that people don't want, except
Right.
the cans are droids, because in this world there are too many droids.
And so they get put on this ship. R2 first. 3PO eventually gets picked up by these guys.
Great ship. It's like a big,
It's
like,
called a
wheeled,
sand crawler.
It looks
It
so
looks like
cool.
a sort of wedge of cheese.
And there's that great shot
it's
where
rusted.
R2, like you see from R2's perspective, the little sandcrawler off in the distance, and it just gets bigger and
Yeah.
bigger, closer,
And
moving
then
slowly
the same
slowly.
with 3PO. He sees
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh yay, you
Yeah.
found me." Let's talk about the lack of CGI in these scenes when he is in the droid. This kind of like it's almost like they're all slaves, they're kind of being processed, and there's all these weird droids around. There's all this physical stuff. We're going to talk
Tactile.
about this a lot.
There's
It's
a
very
viscerality
tactile.
to it.
Come on, Ben, right?
Oh, no. I
My
mean,
God.
it's gorgeous. It's really amazing. You get totally immersed into the world.
You ever hear fucking Mr. Positive be that positive?
He's
about
so positive.
anything?
I love this movie.
Our
It's a
levels
great
are off
movie.
the charts because we're so excited.
We're
I
too
mean,
really excited.
We're all screaming, but that's okay because
So-
it's worth it.
So yeah, and then it's just even though it's very contrived,
Yeah.
like it's contrived that they're above Tatooine at the right moment. It's contrived that they get picked up by the same thing. It's contrived that they get like randomly sold to Luke Skywalker. That's right, Luke Skywalker.
Well, hold
but
on,
it all
hold on.
happens. No, we're ready. We're ready.
Well, this is the thing I want to say about how it's contrived. It's like a story structure, a plotting that I think is very similar to that of the Toy Story movies.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it was not influenced by it. Came before it, whatever. But the thing I like in the Toy Story movies is it's like an
You and your Toy
incredible.
Story movies.
They're my favorite movies, but it's an incredible amount of like luck and happenstance. But it fits together so perfectly that you accept it.
Yeah, of course, exactly.
And it's also always
And you
that
want
like,
it to happen.
something lucky happens, and then the characters think the next lucky thing is going to happen, and then it goes wrong.
Yeah.
And then they have to solve that problem, and then another lucky thing happens, and then it goes wrong. It's like really, it's serialized storytelling. I mean, it's like it feels
It's
like
like
old
a-
adventure series.
Right, which this was partly
Right.
inspired
How do we
by.
get from point A to point B? How do we get across this desert? Well, now we're stuck in the sandcrawler.
So the Sandcrawler.
Oh, it turns out the sandcrawler brings us to the place that we should be. we're fated to end up.
Here's the thing. R2 kind of knows they need to be with Luke.
Mm-hmm.
3PO is just kind of like, well, I guess this is my life, which I enjoy.
Yeah.
He's like, 1 minute I'm on a spaceship, the next minute I'm moisture farmers on this weird planet.
Well, so Sandcrawler comes up. They're selling the droids.
They get sold to
Luke and Uncle Owen.
Uncle Owen, older.
Who's great in this.
Yeah. Oh, he's so good.
There's a moment where he's listing the things they need.
I'm looking up the actor because I forget the actor's name.
Yeah, they're listing the things they need, and we're like this and that, and the Jawas go like,
Yeah.
and they point to C-3PO, and he's like, okay, what's your deal? And he's like, well, I'm a protocol droid.
And he's just like,
translator."
yeah, all right.
Yeah. There's that great moment where he just goes, okay, enough.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I also like that they try to sell him another R2. It's like an R4 or something. It's
Yeah.
like, it's a red R2.
yeah,
And he's like, yeah, fine. And it blows up. And he's like, come on, what are you trying to do to me over here? Like, he's haggling with them.
right. And then C-3PO's
And they're like,
well, if you don't mind me saying, that R2 unit there,
right.
I
And
can
he's like,
recommend
fine,
heartily.
that one.
Yeah.
Here's
an
the best thing
interesting
about
thing-
this. I just want to point out
Yeah,
about this
sure.
scene.
Yeah.
No racial stereotyping happens.
Okay, this is a huge thing.
It's amazing.
This
You
is-
did a whole scene with merchants and not one racial stereotype.
But can I point out something humongous in this movie?
Yeah, sure.
There are a ton of aliens in this film.
Yeah.
None of them speak.
Phil Brown, who plays Uncle.
None of them speak in English.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so throughout the 3 films
Only
in the original trilogy,
humans speak English.
right?
Sometimes humans can understand the aliens and
Yes.
like relay their. But
Sometimes
yes.
they can't.
Yeah, it's true.
And if you,
That's true.
this
How
is
have
huge.
I never
right?
fucking thought of that.
This is huge.
That is actually crazy.
It's humongous. David's freaking out right now.
That's so true.
I figured that out, and I've been holding that one
because
under the
you've got
table.
like in the prequels, you've got like Dexter Jetster. You've
Right.
got I'm trying to think of other examples. There's lots of
Everyone, the
fucking
Nemoidians,
the Nemoidians, Jar
Watto, Jar Jar,
Watto.
yeah,
All these guys speaking like this sort of hackneyed English.
and all
Is
of
there any Yoda speaks English?
Yoda
There's a couple.
is
you
the
know,
one,
yeah,
but
yeah,
he's
yeah.
coming later.
Yeah.
But like the
There
Jawas,
must be a couple, but
especially
mostly
coming up,
they speak their own language.
right, coming
Yes.
up, we have a species who have since sort of been rewritten to be dubbed the Tusken Raiders, but in this movie are almost
They're sand
exclusively
people.
referred to as Sand People.
Yeah.
And you look at the way they dress and their weaponry and everything, and you're like, okay, this is kind of like an old Middle Eastern stereotype.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they're Bedouins.
But
yeah,
the
right.
fact that they don't speak,
helps.
100%.
Yeah. And the same with the Jawas, of course, because the Jawas are these like, measly little
Yeah.
merchant people. You could do a lot of things with that, but no, they're just like,
If they were
have their own
speaking
language.
in any language we understood, and he also
just huge.
additionally hired actors to replicate voices that are tied to cultural stereotypes that link up with the way they're dressed and what their professions are.
This kind of helps explain why the Empire is so human too.
Mm-hmm.
Why we don't really see aliens employed by the
No,
Empire.
none.
It's crazy.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it is
right?
fascinating.
Legitimately fascinating. So the Jawas just end up being interesting.
Yeah, no,
They
we
end
like
up being
them.
texture. If they were talking, we'd probably be annoyed by them or offended by them. You know?
Yeah.
But this movie does a really good job of, because the objectives are so clear in every scene. How does C-3PO and R2-D2 get across the desert? They're trying to make it through. Oh, no, they're captured by Jawas. Oh, no, it turns out that actually brought them to where they needed to be. All the things that are happening in the background, all these sort of background details. There's a great shot when they're in the desert of like a long, long skeleton of like a snake.
Right.
And you're just like, oh, man, what does this tell me?
Yeah.
This tells me there are species on this planet that I can't even fathom. That looks like something we've seen before, but at a size that is so insane. That creature looks terrifying. And the conditions here are so harsh that this thing couldn't survive.
Yeah.
How does C-3PO and R2-D2 expect to survive? Oh, they're kidnapped.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, no, now it's going to be about them being kidnapped. No, because they're bought.
All
Who
right.
are they bought
All
by?
right.
The hero of our movie.
Okay. How long we've been
That's
going,
why
Ben?
I'm moving on here.
35 minutes.
That's a transition.
We really need to move on.
Luke motherfucking Skywalker, son of Anakin Skywalker, a.k.a. Darth Vader. Uncle Owen buys the droids. Bring him back.
Little whiny, though, when you first
Played
meet
by
him.
Mark Hamill.
Definitely.
I mean,
Yeah.
that part was a little bit of a turnoff. But then I
Well,
kind of
because
warmed up to him as
so
the movie went on.
We get the idea.
His first 3 opening line readings are really tough.
Yeah.
But I want to go to Toshi to buy power converters.
Right, yeah.
Like, that's actually what his
That's
first,
how he sounds. Yeah. But he's a restless soul. He lives in Tatooine, which we know
Great
is like
character. Yeah.
which we know is this pretty boring place. He's a moisture farmer. Pretty nice house.
Yes.
Upgrade from Anakin's house.
Yeah.
It's like a big pit in the ground.
Mhm.
Aunt Beru's still there.
Yeah.
And he's just itching to join the Empire. He wants to get out of
no,
there.
not the Empire. The Rebel.
No.
He wants to join the Empire. He wants to be a fighter pilot.
Yeah, he wants to be a fighter pilot. Doesn't he want to join the Empire? He wants to take the test and join the Empire. Maybe not.
I guess you're right.
No,
I don't know
thought
if
he
says
wanted
the
to
word
go to university. That's what
He
I
wants to
remember him
leave.
He wants to leave.
saying.
I can't remember.
This is interesting that all three of us had different interpretations.
It doesn't matter.
He wants to leave, and he wants to fly, and he also mentions about taking the test.
And his uncle is saying taking a test. Yeah. His uncle is saying one more season, and it's very clear that he's been stalling for time.
Yeah.
Kind of keeping his parentage from him.
Yeah.
And
And you know what I like about this? One, it is relatable.
yeah, of course.
It is something that almost
There's
everyone
this
could
scene
relate to.
early on where he looks out at the two sons, like Baru and Owen did at the end of
It's
3.
it's a mirroring of the shot at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Yeah.
And and you get it all just from that. There's no dialogue, just music.
Well,
Great.
it's like the entire thesis of the movie. Not the thesis, but the mission statement of the movie in one shot is this movie is about this feeling that anyone can relate to of just thinking that there's something bigger out there for you, that your future could hold something more exciting than you can think of, that life could give you a little more. And it's shown through that feeling that all of us can relate to of just
Longing.
looking out at the sun and just wondering, except he's got two sons.
He's got two.
And it's this is the story you know in a world you don't.
Yeah.
This is a long time ago, motherfucker, in a galaxy far, far away. But guess what? They're feeling the same things that you are. And they're not feeling it by going Padme, my heart is breaking. I love you so much. That scene with Uncle Owen isn't him going now, Luke, you know I've been stalling for time and not letting you join the academy because I'm worried about you because your father got killed.
All right.
You know?
I do know.
Is it masterful dialogue? No.
No, it's not. I was going to say, because then there's that bit where Baru's he wants to leave, and he's I know. Well,
Yeah,
no.
but
and they mention his father very darkly.
Yes.
Very briefly and very darkly.
Right.
Anyway, just to pick things up, R2 shows this message of Princess Leia.
Luke is cleaning him out.
Just to pick things up. People have seen the movie, right?
I don't know. Have they? We didn't even know it existed.
And this very little tiny image of Leia transfixes him so much.
It's a hologram. He goes, who is that?
Which is another weird parallel, because he seems like he's kind of into this thing.
Yeah, and let's just, we
Yeah,
all
we should
know
just talk
they're
about
brother
this.
and sister.
Yeah, with their brother and sister, they don't figure
We
it out.
all know that because this is the fourth movie. It's weird
It's
the way
weird.
he structures this.
It's weird. Anyway, and so he goes out. She's saying, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope."
It's in a loop, and they can't get the rest
It's
of it to play.
stuck at the end of the message, right? And he's like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, never heard of him. She might mean old Ben Kenobi.
Ooh, that guy whose name is only 4 letters off from the other name I heard?
So let's drive over see Obi-Wan Kenobi.
There's
They
a
go over
chance.
to see Obi-Wan Kenobi. They tussle with some sand people,
Yes, the Tusken Raiders kind. Yeah.
and Obi-Wan scares them off.
He
And
does a howl.
here he is, Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Played by
Alec Guinness.
one of the greatest actors of all time.
Correct. In an Oscar-nominated performance.
Yeah.
By the way, these test films
Got a ton
were
of Oscar
nominated for a lot of Oscars.
10, actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
hugely successful.
Yeah, picture,
I think
director,
it won
screenplay,
6 Oscars.
supporting actor.
Yeah.
Not to mention all the below-the-line categories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Astonishing.
Alec Guinness plays Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm just gonna say it. He's
Yeah.
a lot better than Ewan
He
McGregor,
is.
right?
And I don't want to
Absolutely.
blame Ewan for it.
Now I'm gonna blame him.
The character's also better at this point.
Yeah, well, he's like this sort of old soul, busted up in the desert, kind of waiting for Luke to grow up, I guess, is the idea.
Yeah, he's been living nearby because Luke doesn't seem to know him that well. He goes there is a guy named Old Ben
Yeah,
Kenobi.
old
It isn't
hermit, yeah.
oh, Ben, I hang out with him all the time. But it does seem like
Yeah,
you know,
and Owen calls him a crazy old wizard.
right. Well, because he probably knows that
Jedi.
yeah, and that he's going to try to get Luke in there. He knows that Luke probably has the Force,
Yeah.
But so Obi-Wan just it seems like maybe he's been keeping eyes on Luke from a distance.
Yeah. As he said he would in the third movie. And Obi-Wan, which I appreciate, really gets down to business. He just, in about 5 minutes, he's like, here's the deal. I'm a Jedi. Your dad was a Jedi. Here's his lightsaber. You should try it out.
I trained him.
We gotta go. He's
The
pretty
best
quickly.
fighter pilot. He died.
They watch the message. It's Leia saying, I need your help. You were an ally of my father's, blah, blah,
I
blah.
have these
Empire.
plans. Get him off here.
Yeah. Death Star plans, give it to the Rebel Alliance. And Obi-Wan's just like, yo, Luke, I'm pretty old. You gotta come with me.
You gotta
Sorry,
come.
buddy.
I need your help.
And
And gives him the lightsaber.
gives him this lightsaber. It's Anakin's old lightsaber,
dad's
the blue
lightsaber, yeah.
And they go to check in on Luke's
Wait,
parents.
we have a couple.
Luke's uncle.
There
and
are before that, there are a couple
Not
things
really.
I want to just address within this scene. One is that Obi-Wan barely acknowledges R2D2 and C-3PO.
It's true.
Two guys he hung out with
I know.
lot
Especially
a couple decades
R2.
ago.
Although R5 or R4 was his guy.
Was his
right?
main guy.
But he's still, it's
but
true.
R2's like
he could be a little nice
at the end of the day, R2 was like, at the very least, a friend of a friend. Like a very close friend. Like, oh, back in the 90s, we did used to hang out a lot because we had that friend in common who was this guy's dad. And he just kind of
course.
like,
yeah.
Because they said these droids are here to see you, and he goes,
he's
these
like,
droids?
I never owned a
know.
droid, and
Yeah.
it's like, motherfucker, you own like a lot of droids.
First off, you owned a lot of droids.
You were a Jedi master.
Second of all, these guys were part of your
also,
crew.
the Jedi seem to be myth almost, which is fucking weird because
People
it's
don't
only
believe
19
it.
years old.
But when they talk about the Force, it's like, I don't know if I believe in Christianity.
It's like a religion.
There's no tactile proof that it exists.
We should mention, I'm sorry, cross-cutting with all this, is Vader with the Empire, with Grand Moff Tarkin, who we glimpsed in Episode 3. Here he's played by legendary horror actor Peter Cushing. He's
killing it.
So good.
Pulling a
and he's
Christopher
saying to
Lee-style
Leia,
performance.
like, you're going to give us your plans. Leia's getting tortured. We should, all that's
There's
happening.
this great like droid they sent in, like a ball
Weird
droid
ball
with needles
droid.
and stuff on it.
Very cool. A little over the top because it just has a needle on it, but whatever.
But there's a scene, I don't know if it comes before or after this, but it's right around here, where Darth Vader's in like his conference room. And I love the Empire. I mean, talking about like using clear visual language to establish like, you know, it's mythic storytelling. It's very broad. But these guys are like, it's very Nazi-ish.
Yeah, no, I think that's very obvious,
Yes,
right?
like the
And
design of
down to
ships, their uniforms, they're all
They're all
human.
humans.
They all
Down to
British,
all of
but have
that.
these very sort of
They're all
clean
British, it's
looks,
true.
you know? But it is this like, they have this air to them, this like elitist air to them.
This movie was mostly shot in Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's in the room, and he like mentions something about the Force, and they go like, "Oh, don't throw your religion at me."
Vader's like, yeah, you know, I feel a disturbance or whatever, and they're like, oh
God, you and this like
Now,
mumbo.
Vader
It's like,
really sticks out because the Emperor's
Everyone
not
else-
in this movie.
Yeah.
So it's really just these, it's Tarkin and then these
bunch of
Empire
old white British
functionaries.
dudes
and they are
in
just like
uniforms.
this fucking space wizard weirdo.
well, it's like if your boss goes like, "Okay, so our quarter reports were a little down, so let's pass some crystals out if you want to rub them," and they're like, "You and your crystal bullshit. We don't believe in crystal bullshit. Don't fucking Bob."
No, it would be like that, but then he used the crystal to strangle one. of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, like using magical crystal powers.
Fucking Anakin Skywalker, the master of choking. This one guy's going like blah 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 Force, and fucking Darth V like holds out his hand and starts choking the guy from across the room, and everyone's
true.
like, "Oh fuck."
But the one thing I like is Tarkin's like, all right,
Okay.
Vader, give it a
come on.
rest.
Yeah.
And Vader's like, as you
We
wish.
get it. Yeah.
Anyway,
Uh,
so that's happening over there.
But Vader's definitely still like a lackey. You know, we don't see the Emperor, but like,
But he inspires
feels
a
like-
lot of fear.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's like maybe like he's not Blofeld. He's like the main henchman in the Bond movie.
I guess so.
It feels a little bit like to me in a way I like.
I don't know. He operates in a weird sort of position.
He operates in a
'cause
weird position.
Tarkin is kind of in charge. He's in charge of this Death
Yes.
Star, which
Yeah.
is this battle station that they have built.
He's the Grand Moff.
He's the Grand Moff.
Yeah.
And
A term we all know.
And when he is torturing, well, we'll get to that. Anyway, so we should just say Luke gets off that. People have seen the movie. Luke.
I wouldn't bet on it, David.
Luke's.
We
the
consider
droids
ourselves
are-
huge Star Wars fans.
The
We never
Empire
heard of it.
traces the droids back to Luke's homestead.
Yeah.
And kill Owen and Beru.
Yeah.
Pretty sad. They melt them into skeletons.
They're
It's fucking
red
crazy.
skeletons.
It's kind of crazy.
It's pretty traumatic.
Yeah.
In a good
And
way.
But
Luke's-
it doesn't seem very traumatic because Luke just keeps
Yeah,
carrying
Luke's
on
reaction
with
is
his,
like, I guess I
regular
have
business.
nothing else to do except
Yeah.
go with you. So
Well-
it's another one of those coincidences.
But it's
there you
also
go.
like, you know, George Lucas was a big student of Joseph Campbell and the
Mhm.
hero's journey.
Yep.
And a lot of people have taken from it and like tried to replicate it to the same results he got in this film where it works beautifully.
Yeah,
And
he
the-
refuses at first. Obi-Wan's like,
Refusal
you gotta
of the
come with
call
me. And he's like, I can't
is the
do
big
that.
step.
I know, yeah.
A lot of movies make their entire second act refusal of the call. The refusal of the call is 90 seconds in this movie.
And it should be because refusal of the call is really annoying because
Yeah.
we know what's
we
gonna
know
happen. We've seen
don't
movies.
beat around the
Yeah.
bush. But Obi-Wan throws all this information at him. He's like, I can't do that.
It's true. It's a
It's
lot of
overwhelming,
information. Yeah.
right? Goes back to see his aunt and uncle. They're dead. And realizes, I have no home anymore.
I want to get to my favorite.
world has changed.
My favorite part of the movie.
Is it your favorite character?
Yeah, well, Han Solo is my favorite character.
This guy rules.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm not even just talking about him.
Okay.
This whole section.
Yeah.
They fly up to Mos Eisley.
Yeah.
In the speeder.
Not Mos Espa.
No,
but
Mos
very
Eisley.
similar.
yeah. It's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
It's bigger.
Bigger, but looks a lot
More of
like
a-
the place where
But
Anakin
they're
grew up.
looking at it, and Obi-Wan's just like, the fucking worst place. He's just like, Luke, this place fucking sucks. Everyone here sucks.
Scum of hive and villainy.
Yes. You just get the idea, like, no one in here should be fucked with.
And there's also the moment where they come in.
They come in on the speeder. There's
Stormtrooper
Imperial
does like a stop
stormtroopers,
by. Yeah.
And Obi-Wan shows off his force powers by
Right.
saying, these aren't the droids you're looking for.
He's like, these aren't the droids we're looking for.
Which is like, Luke doesn't still even really know what the force is, what being
Yeah.
a Jedi is, and here's a little hint.
This is a movie, after seeing like so much flubbering and bullshit like that.
No flubbering in this movie.
The Jedi, I don't know if it's because he's been living in seclusion, because he's wanted to keep his powers under lock and key for this long, because he doesn't want anyone to know he's a Jedi.
He's almost delighted.
But it's just little touches. He uses his powers very sparingly, and it's exciting for the audience because you don't know what he can really do anymore. But they get into this bar.
And oh my god, it's the greatest.
Everything
There's a million
in this bar
weird
looks
aliens.
cool. Everything looks cool in
There's
this bar.
no weird fucking TVs.
Nope.
There's no nonsense happening.
I mean,
there's no Elan Sleaze Bagano.
that's the one strike I'd hold against this movie.
No, instead,
I don't know how George feels about cigarettes. I need someone
Elan
to tell me.
Sleaze Bagano doesn't show up. Instead, there's a walrus-faced man, basically.
There's a fucking dude who looks like a hammerhead shark.
and a guy who looks like he's had his face burned off and reapplied.
The devil. There's a dude who
Luke
looks like
walks
straight up the devil.
Yeah, there is. That one's crazy.
There's a band, and they're playing like a fucking jam.
They are. They're awesome.
they're
And
playing-
they look like they're made out of, like, they're like brains.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're crazy
Yeah, but this is like my
They look like
jam.
giant shrimps. It's a great
Yeah.
song. But
Motherfuckers,
here's
up
what
in
I
this
like.
bar, be all like...
Here's what I like. Two things happen immediately. They walk in, the droids are not allowed in. The bartender's like, no. Yeah, all right. That's a Comedy Bang Bang thing. We can't do that.
Well, this is our podcast. So
Joe.
you're telling me it's a Star Wars podcast. We gotta... We can't... You're telling
I
me we
just
can't
want
do
to
it
say,
because Comedy Bang Bang did it first?
Don't you love that Luke just walks up to the bar and orders a drink?
Yeah.
And the guy next to him is like, I'm going to kill you. This like walrus face guy is like, hey, fuck you.
Well, there's the dude with the walrus face, and then there's a dude...
Whose face has been burned off and
Right.
put back on,
Right.
basically.
Right, he's got like a pig nose.
And he just says to him, Luke, who doesn't know Luke?
He goes, my friend doesn't like you.
And Luke's
Luke
like,
goes,
sorry.
sorry. And he goes, I don't like you either.
Luke has done nothing.
Yeah. But
That's how dangerous this situation is.
Well, that's what I like about it. It also just feels like this is a drunk lunatic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one could say, like, well, that's unjustified. But drunk people are unjustified.
Yeah, and this is a dangerous, weapon-laden world.
And so
They try to make some fuss with him.
we walk into a bar. We see all these aliens. We go, I've never seen a bar like this. And then a drunk guy picks a fight with him. And we're like, no, it's the same as all human bars. Once again, I can relate to this.
Yes, except then Obi-Wan does cut the walrus guy's arm off with
They get in a fight. He's like, we're criminals. We won in 17 systems. Don't mess with me. And Obi-Wan's like, not
Yeah,
worth
not
your
worth it,
time.
buddy.
Slices his arm. The arm lies on the floor.
Blood.
It's covered in blood. And then everyone just goes back to
It's so-
tells
just
you
get,
everything
like,
you need to
The
know.
rules do not apply here.
This
now,
bar, fucking
Qui-Gon
anything
didn't tell
could go
us that
down.
the planet was governed by the Hutts.
Yeah.
And we don't know that the Hutts are gangsters.
Yeah.
But, everything, we get it.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
And
things have gotten a lot worse since the last time we were here.
so then we're introduced. They're trying to get off this planet.
They're
We're
trying to find a
introduced
ship. They need to
two
find someone who goes,
characters.
this is the place
Two characters.
where we can find someone who has a ship who can get us out of here.
Han Solo.
Okay, played by
Played by
Harrison
Ford.
Ford.
Yeah. Han Solo, we used to call him, but it's Solo.
Han Solo.
Han Solo.
Han Solo.
Who is a badass, sexy scoundrel, space pirate, smuggler, who's the best, and is like a cowboy.
We thought Jimmy Smits was handsome.
Oh my god.
Little did we know.
The man is just ridiculous.
This guy's incredible.
But I want to say something.
He's a
Who's
cowboy.
his partner?
Okay, now
Yeah.
it's
This
Chewbacca.
was-
It's goddamn Chewbacca. But guess what? I like the guy now.
Oh, he's great.
I
You
finally
kidding me?
see what everyone else was
Oh,
talking
my
about.
God.
That time when Yoda wrote in the college recommendation, I was like, "What is this based on?" Chewbacca's a good
Chewbacca
citizen.
is here.
But Chewbacca rules. Chewbacca's like the muscle. Chewbacca's like his silent enforcer who's just got his back. And Han Solo is like a space cowboy.
Yeah,
Now, I'm
space
not talking
cowboy.
about James Garner, fucking Donald Sutherland, Tommy Lee Jones, Clint Eastwood. I'm talking about
John
a
Hamm was in
young
that movie.
buck. John Hamm's in that movie?
In Space Cowboys, yeah.
And Melissa Gay Harden. Melissa Gay Harden.
Yeah,
Melissa Joan.
Melissa Marsha
Melissa
Gay Harden.
Joan Gay Harden. He's like an old Western cowboy, gunslinger, scoundrel. You never know where his
Not only
allegiance
that,
is.
he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, he's acting cool, and he's like, yeah, I've got a fast ship. You're going to need me.
Fastest ship in the
and
galaxy.
then they're like, fine, we'll pay you X money. You know,
Well, he's like, I need $15,000.
And they're like, we've got like
$15,000, we could buy a ship for that. And he's like, who's going to pilot it? I'm Han Solo. And you're like, fuck, this guy is confident.
His dick is on the table.
On the table, and it looks good. It's nicely shaped. It's not even about size, because people focus on size. They focus on length or girth, but it's about fucking the proportions of it, because you don't want a thick dick with a little head. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice looking dick. It looks like a fucking health class diagram. And they go, we don't have $15,000. He goes, I guess we don't have a ship. We'll pay you $2,000 now, $15,000 later. 17. Okay, meet me at the dock. I just have some business to sort out.
They leave, and to Chewbacca, he's like, holy shit, this is perfect. We're in so much trouble right now.
We're in so much
that's
trouble.
what I love about him.
Right.
He's got so much bravado.
Yeah.
And then to Chewbacca, he's like, fucking hell, we are in trouble. Then he has an
It
altercation.
turns out he was wearing a fake dick, and his real dick is still big, but it wasn't as big as he was pretending it was.
He has an altercation with a green Rodian.
Greedo. I love this guy.
Yeah, who just sits down and is like, not so fast, Solo.
Yeah.
Talking in
Han's
another
trying
language.
to back out quickly.
Subtitles.
Yup.
And then
Han understands what he's saying, though. He's speaking in English.
And then they shoot at each other, and I don't want to get into that because I hate the internet.
They shoot at each other.
Who doesn't? He kills this Greedo guy because you don't fuck with him.
Greedo's going to shoot him. It's clearly a standoff. Han ends up winning. There's a
goes
dead
to
body
his-
in the bar. And once
and
again,
he's
Han
sorry
just
about the
leaves
mess.
because this bar's crazy.
Sorry about the mess. Then he goes to his ship and he chats with Jabba the Hutt.
Ugh, I hate this scene.
Bad
I gotta say,
scene.
this is one scene I really don't like.
It feels unfinished. It feels like tossed off.
Also, a lot of CGI.
Weird CGI.
For a movie that was shot in
At
1977.
one point, he walks over. Well, I think this is the updated version. That's the problem when he finally finished it.
But isn't it jarring because the rest of the
He
movie...
walks over his tail and it looks like garbage. Did you watch this? It's terrible.
Yeah. But the rest...
And so we get the Jabba the Hutt, who we know.
Yes.
He was the race guy, the pod race guy.
Right. Apparently
He
he's moved up
governs
the
the
ranks. I
planet.
mean, he's like really now like
He's
a
in debt
slum
to him.
lord.
And
Yeah.
even though this Greedo guy just tried to, literally just tried to kill Han Solo.
Yeah.
Jabba's like, look, all right, don't worry about it. The scene makes no sense.
Did you notice in the
It
background
totally
too?
diffuses
it's so
the
stupid.
tension of like his debt. Yeah.
Did you notice in the background too of this scene there are like 6 identical Greedos? Like not just
Really?
species, like the same species, but wearing the exact same outfit,
That's
like
weird.
the same
Well,
jumpsuit with the
also-
little vest.
Also, Jango Fett's kind of in the background, but he looks
There's
different.
like a green Jango Fett.
Yeah, that's weird.
This scene,
no dialogue.
This scene sucks. I love this movie, but like
No,
you know,
this scene is garbage.
demerits where demerits are due. This
Anyway.
scene blows.
But it doesn't matter because they get off the planet.
Yes,
They get in the Millennium Falcon. Han Solo's super awesome ship,
right.
which is cool.
Got Chewbacca by his side, a loyal friend.
It's super cool.
Yeah,
This ship looks
R2,
great.
C-3PO.
It's weird.
This is our skeleton crew.
It looks like a saucer. It's got weird bits all over
I
it.
love this ship.
It doesn't look sleek and sexy. Now, I think you get...
It looks lived in.
It looks very lived in.
It's not like this, like,
Thank
every
you. Thank you,
space,
Dan.
like,
Yeah.
setting is always like this sleek, clean, like, white lit, like, room. This looks like dudes who are, like, out, like, doing
Yes.
their thing, living it up.
Every single thing in the Phantom Menace trilogy, the OT, looked like it was fresh off the storeroom floor from
Yeah.
Best Buy.
Now, maybe this is intentional. That's supposed to be the nice old age,
Yeah.
the Republic, very like finery. It's like old ancient Rome, and now here we are in the shit. Everyone's just banging shit together.
But intent doesn't matter if it's bad.
I don't
And I
disagree
like,
with you.
see this ship, they paid him so much money to get on this ship, and they look at it and they immediately go, this fucking
Yeah,
thing?
Luke is like, ew.
Yeah, gross.
And even Han Solo's like, look, she's better than she
She'll
looks.
get you
He's
there.
not saying,
Yeah.
right. He's not saying, like, how dare you insult my
Yeah,
perfect
he
ship.
goes, look, a ship's a ship.
There's a lot of cool stuff in this scene, in the Falcon scene.
C-3PO plays this board game
Yeah, he
with
plays like
Chewbacca,
sort of like computer chess.
but with monsters.
Yeah, that's pretty
They're
cool.
fighting each other.
So, and in that scene,
C-3PO accuses him of cheating, and
and
or
Han Solo's
he's
like,
winning.
he's gonna rip your arms out.
Chewbacca's like, last time Chewbacca lost to somebody, ripped his arms out, just no. And it's like, ooh, Chewbacca. Ooh, interesting, because he seems all loyal, but he also does not fuck around.
Doesn't fuck around.
And also, he doesn't speak in English.
No, although he doesn't in the original movies.
I know, but that's a good carryover.
But here's some other things I just want to note quickly
Yeah.
from these scenes. You've got like more discussion of the Force. Han Solo's kind of like a counterbalance
and he
to Obi-Wan.
hates the Force.
He just thinks it's stupid. He's like, I've been around the world. I've
I've
never
seen a lot
seen
of
anything
stuff.
so interesting. Because like he must have been a child when the Jedi Purge happened. So
Yeah.
he grew up in a world without the Force. That's the idea.
Yeah.
He likes a trusty blaster.
That's all you need is
Meanwhile,
a trusty
Luke
blaster
has
blade.
his lightsaber, and he's learning how to like block
Practicing
lasers.
He's trying to...
It's kind of cool.
And Han Solo's like waste of time. Here's the thing I think we need to talk about. The way they discuss the Force in this movie is very different.
Yeah, it's very vague.
Like, let's remember, it is established in Phantom Menace that the Force is essentially a blood disease. Right? It's like sickle cell anemia.
Well, or at least like having access to it is a blood disease.
Right. Gives you access to this thing. Here, the way Obi-Wan talks about it...
It's like a living, binding energy of all living things.
It's like just an energy.
Yeah.
It's an
just sort of
energy.
It's like this atmosphere kind of around us at all times, but just some of us are more
It's the thing
attuned
that
to
unites us, you know? You might not believe in God, but, you know, a personification, a guy with a beard and a fucking, you know, cloak up in the clouds. But there's something.
Yeah.
There's some larger thing here that you can look to as an answer.
Are you going to talk about Alderaan?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Even the way that Han Solo talks about it, he's just kind of like, look, I've seen a lot of stuff. You're telling me there's one thing uniting all of this? No, we're out in the universe, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Han Solo, you get a sense that this guy's been given a shit end of the stick. I don't think this guy's lived a good life.
No, he's a scoundrel.
Right. And he's had to, like, by hook or by crook, get where he is today. And he just goes, I'm not believing in any higher power. And Obi-Wan's just kind of like, look, there's something, and I'm telling you, some people are able to tap into it. It's not like you within your system have magical powers.
No,
there's a force that you can channel. I just love the way they talk about it.
Well, what I love is that very quickly, over on the Death Star, they blow up Alderaan.
Leia's home planet.
They blow it up kind of as a way to get info out of her, but also she gives up the info before they blow up the planet, or at least she gives up some info. It's kind of hard to tell whether it's true or not.
Meaning Peanuts, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I've been doing it all episode. And
also, I give the Peanuts movie 4.5 out of 10.
That's about right. You're getting how scary this Death Star is. You can blow up a planet. Holy shit.
Yeah.
How evil the Empire is. They callously blow up seemingly like one of the galactic centers of the world, of the universe, just to kind of prove their power. And when it happens, Obi-Wan like sinks into his chair in horror because it's like, whoa, we get it. The Force. Very powerful.
I changed my mind. I give the Peanuts movie 4 out of 10.
The Peanuts movie was not good.
It's not good. I give it a 4. And that's being overly kind.
I agree. That's mostly because we like Peanuts. The characters of Peanuts.
And the food.
Yeah, agreed.
Obi-Wan just sits there. He feels, he
says, like, I heard a billion voices, whatever, cry out, and then be silenced.
And this is the idea of the Force, too, is it's, like, not just having the ability to fucking do, like, backflips. It's about being connected, you know? Mm-hmm. It almost feels like a greater sense of empathy as well, you know?
Let's move on, though, because
I do want to mention...
we need to get to sort of the final act and a half of this movie.
I do want to mention there's one scene that I think was one of the scenes that we just sort of passed in where we are in the story, where Leia just has a British accent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which one's that?
She's very affected. Like, it's very like, I will never tell you
She's played by Carrie Fisher. We didn't mention this.
Yeah, daughter of Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah.
Ghostwriter of Hook. I think she did pass on Hook.
Sure, yeah. She did she wrote Postcards from the Edge.
She's really good
When Harry Met Sally. She's great, but she's very young.
She's very young, but she's got a lot of attitude. Like she's
No, she's great. She's got this weird hairstyle.
Oh, right. She looks like she's wearing honey buns.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway, what I like is we've got all these disparate threads.
Yeah.
The storytelling is just so much clearer.
It's so good. But every
and
10
it all
minutes,
gets
get to
pulled
the next
together.
Point. Yeah.
When they're trying to get these plans to the rebels, they get sucked in by the Death Star.
They think it's a moon.
Which they're like, holy shit, this thing is so big.
They think it's a moon.
It's crazy.
It's huge.
They get sucked on board, but using Han Solo's brilliant sneaking powers,
so fucking good,
they manage to sort of infiltrate this Death Star.
Well, the ship lands at like the loading bay or whatever.
Yeah, and they like hide.
They send a bunch of troopers in, and they go like, "Ship's empty. I don't know what to tell you."
Right.
They're hiding under the floorboards. When everyone leaves, knock out a couple stormtroopers, take their uniforms. Right. Han and Luke are dressed as troopers.
Are they? No, I'm trying to remember. Are they just trying to deliver the plans, or are they trying to get Leia? Because they find out about Leia. No, it's random because R2 just plugs into the computer, and he's like, "The princess is here."
And Luke is like, "Hey,
Luke's
guess
like,
what?
Let's go get her."
If we get the princess," he's like, "I don't care.
He's got a little bit of a hard on for Leia.
No
It's
question,
gross.
which is weird. That's
I
a
know.
weird move on
I don't know
George's
why
part.
George did this.
Because they don't know because they've been raised apart, but the whole audience knows because we have all seen the first 3 movies
I hate
before
bits.
watching this one.
Han Solo,
the whole audience
not
knows
into it.
that they're fucking siblings, and Luke is like, no, I just want to rescue the princess. It's like, no, you want to fuck her. And you hear those stories sometimes about siblings, twins who are raised apart, and then they fall in
20
love.
minutes
I know,
left.
but it's a weird...
Griffin.
Okay.
20 minutes. My God, let's go.
I want to focus on Dexter Jester's Diner, though, because there's some things we didn't cover.
What?
I know that's a couple miniseries ago, but there's some
What?
things we didn't cover.
What are you talking about?
He's got a robot waitress, Flo.
He's just
Oh,
doing
Ben's
a bit.
grabbing peanuts.
He's just doing a bit.
Um,
Yeah, Han Solo doesn't want to do it. There's all these cool.
well,
it's
that's
so
the thing.
low
He just
level.
goes like, I just
There's
want to
no
do my job.
flubber.
How does he get Han on board to rescue Leia? He goes like, you like money. Can you imagine what's going to happen if you rescue a princess?
Yeah, right.
You're going to be
Yeah,
famous.
he
All
just
the doors
tempts
are
him
going to
with
open
money.
for you. He just goes, really? Okay, I'm on board. So they sneak into the ship.
But there's no flubber.
There's
There's
no
so
flubber.
many stakes. It's so dangerous.
Yeah.
If this was Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon or Obi-Wan and Anakin, they would be like, 80 dozen fucking, robots. Let's kill them. Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Here it's like every situation is fraught.
Mhm.
I love it.
And there's a lot of legitimately good banter. There's a great moment where Han goes on to they're shooting at a bunch of troopers, and then someone
Han's on
comes
the
over the
intercom?
comm.
Yeah.
Goes like, "Sir, we saw a malfunction here and there." And he goes, "No, don't worry about it." And they go, "Should we send additional troops?" And he
He
goes,
shoots
"No,
the
it's
damn
fine.
thing,
Get
yeah.
gas leak, whatever." And they keep on asking
He's very
questions.
funny.
He shoots it, and he goes, "Bad conversation
Did
anyway."
you see, Lawrence Kasdan called that his favorite
It's the best.
piece of dialogue in the whole movies.
It's the best.
Yeah.
But they find Leia.
They find Leia. Leia, love her. She's like, who are you dweebs? This sucks.
Fuck you guys.
These two? This is who rescues me?
You're like immediately subverting the trope of like, oh, the princess in the high tower who has to be rescued by the knight, you know?
She leads them into a garbage compactor to get away from things.
She wastes no time to pick up a blaster.
There's this awesome scene in a garbage compactor with a monster.
Like, talk about clear objectives.
No, it's great.
They're in a garbage compactor. They got to get out of there. R2D2, C3PO are up on board, and it's like, can we get them to hack into the system?
Right, and they're almost crushed.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Chewie's with them too.
Yeah.
Because they pretend he's their prisoner.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Now the Han and Leia dynamic from the jump
Yeah.
is the
very
best.
early.
It's
Oh,
really
it's so
funny.
good.
and
They're
it's just-
firecrackers.
They're so
you
good
see
together.
that tension just right from the start.
I just love how risky all of this is.
Yeah.
And how clear that is the whole time.
Yeah. Very
And
clear stakes at every
here's
moment.
the
What's the
thing,
next objective?
What's happening on the fringe of this? Vader hanging out on the Death Star is
Mhm.
like, is Obi-Wan here? He's like
I
literally,
feel
he's getting like a
weird-
ping. Huh.
Obi-Wan Kenobi?
That guy, my old master?
And they're like, no, don't worry about it. We checked the sign-in sheet. The last
Yeah.
guy was named Old Ben Kenobi, so no concern there.
Tarkin's
the
like,
guest list has Old Ben Kenobi.
Tarkin's like, here?
Yeah.
And he's like, I feel him. And so the paths kind of diverge at this
Mhm.
point where Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of like deactivates the tractor beam so they can escape.
Right.
So you've got Luke, Han, and Leia escaping,
hmm
and Obi-Wan locked in this final battle with Darth Vader.
Darth Vader comes head-to-head.
Yeah. And it's mostly talking.
Yeah.
Because Anakin is clearly no athlete, but they don't make him flubber around.
But it's like
They just have a
classical
few-
sword
yeah.
fighting.
Yes. Just very, very short, simple strokes.
Right. Because my,
They're
my old
talking.
apprentice, my master, this and that.
It's
we meet
very vague. You would think Anakin would say more things like, how did you survive? And like, what's up, man? Like, isn't this crazy? I'm a big robot now.
More surprised
the
he's still
last
alive,
time they
yeah.
met was on Mustafar.
Yeah. But it does. I mean, Obi-Wan probably has heard of Anakin.
No, my guess is that Vader knows that Obi-Wan's not dead. Because he probably would have like checked the sort of purge roster. Like,
Yeah.
did we get him? Did we get him?
But he's so. I mean, he really is so. Anakin is dead. I mean, they keep on saying over the course of the movie, Anakin Skywalker is your father. He died. He was killed by
That's
Darth
true.
Vader.
Obi-Wan
That's
does.
the thing
we
Obi-Wan
forgot about
says.
this, which we know is not true, but it makes a weird sort of sense. He's sort of softening
Because
the
it's
blow.
like, well, Anakin
and that's kind
is
of how he
dead.
thinks
Darth
about it,
Vader's a
maybe.
different person. He was completely corrupted, you know?
Yeah.
And they keep on talking about him in that way. And it sort of feels like you're surprised that Darth Vader doesn't have a stronger response to seeing Obi-Wan, but it's also like that was a lifetime ago.
Yeah,
Like Darth Vader
and
doesn't have any
there's
feelings
this
for
great
Obi-Wan.
line he has to himself where he's like, I feel something, a presence I've not felt since ... The end. We get it.
Get it.
Since the original 3
Less
movies.
is more, George.
They have a fight. Obi-Wan, in an act of sacrifice, like just sort of puts his sword up, gets his head chopped off, vanishes into nothingness.
He doesn't get his head chopped off. It's
well,
like
right.
there's like
he gets sort of struck down.
and then he just vanishes. Like a David Copperfield trick.
Yeah.
The robe just falls to the floor.
And Vader like kicks his
There's
ropes.
nothing there, and he like hits it with his foot. You know what it feels like? It feels like that deleted scene once again, where Yoda is talking to dead Qui-Gon, and some dude doing a temp track for Qui-Gon.
Yeah, no, I know.
Is like, I found a way. It's because Obi-Wan has a moment. He
well,
looks
no, remember,
at Vader.
this is in the movie. It's not just the deleted scene. There's a scene in the actual film where
but
Yoda
the fuller
explains it.
explanation.
I know, but still, we get it. He went off to this like
Yeah.
one with the Force universe. He's
There's a
like,
moment where Obi-Wan looks at Luke before he struck, and he sort of just holds his sword in front of him and like volunteers himself to die.
Yeah.
But it feels like he's not dying.
and he says to Vader like, "I'll become something even more powerful."
And he just disappears.
Yeah.
He doesn't die. We've seen a lot of deaths in the Star Wars universe.
And he's
Doesn't
not
die.
dead because we hear his voice throughout the rest of the movie, kind of nudging Luke on.
He might have left this
run,
mortal
Luke.
coil,
Yeah,
but the voice is still echoing. Okay, so they get Leia.
They get off that ship. They get to the Rebel Alliance,
Yeah.
which is on the base Yavin 4 on this like forest planet,
Yeah.
forest moon, whatever.
Rebel Alliance, I mean, they might not be as powerful in numbers as
They're
the
pretty
Emperor,
cool.
but they're pretty strong. They got a lot of ships. They got a lot of people.
We should talk about the ships. Rebel Alliance have these X-wing things.
So
Very cool. The Empire has these TIE fighter
They look
things.
like bow ties.
Oh, they're so awesome. They
Yeah.
make this screaming noise.
And
Where were they?
And the X-Wings, it's like you're going to... Because there are other things that go, oh, this is a Y-Wing, this is an X-Wing. The wings. These things got wacky wings you've never seen before.
No, it's cool.
Most times you just got two wings sticking out. TIE Fighter, it's like two wings sticking out and then two vertical fucking shields.
It's weird.
Looks like a goddamn bow tie, and I love it.
I love it too. We're talking about this because the last act of this movie, it's how long is it? Like half an hour? It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Is this sort of real-time assault by the Rebel Alliance on the Death Star.
Right.
The plans have exposed like this one, if you drive down this trench and shoot a torpedo down this little exhaust port, you could maybe blow up the whole thing.
This guy's named like Jan Dodonna or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Right, the old guy.
And he shows this like it's really, really clear storytelling.
Very simple, like sort of wire frame graphics.
There's like an animatic behind him, and he's like, here's the ship. The only way we could take down the Death Star
right.
is if you hit a direct
It's
shot.
a little video gamey.
It's a little video gamey.
It is.
But also pretty much pre-video games at the time production started.
That is true.
You know?
That is
One could
true.
say that video game objectives were perhaps based off of.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Go on.
But it's like there's this one shoot that then goes to the power core.
Right, that'll blow up the whole Death Star.
Maybe.
Yeah. That's
the
the weakness that they have detected.
And there's no guarantee it will definitely work because the shot has to hit perfectly.
Right.
But if you hit your shot down this one thing and it managed to travel all the way down, the whole thing would explode. And they're like, there's no chance of that happening. Well, good luck. May the Force be with you. And he tosses it off like it's
Yeah, may the
like,
Force
God
be
bless you, you know?
And Luke is going to be a pilot.
He says it like Godspeed. He just goes, Godspeed. May the Force be with you. This guy's not a believer. It's just like a thing you say.
let's
It's kind of
think
interesting to see non-Jedi
Yes.
saying that.
Right. But it's like they're agnostic.
it's kind of like an old saying, right?
When
When people say
Good luck.
Godspeed, they don't believe it. They don't go like, actually, God may have speed in your journey. You know, like...
So all these storylines have kind of gotten wrapped up, into this one big final confrontation.
Luke is going to get the chance he's always wanted to
It's
fly.
not like, let's have 4 different confrontations and cut between them.
No.
It's
What
just
was
this-
with Luke's friend, though? His old friend.
Yeah.
Well, he mentions him at the beginning of the movie. He's
Yeah,
like,
Biggs.
Biggs,
Yeah.
Biggs. He's like, Biggs has gone on to do other stuff.
Yeah, but no, I think there was some deleted scenes there.
There are some deleted scenes, I think.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, but I
I
like
know.
it. He mentions Biggs, or
Yeah,
I
but
like it.
I would have liked one because Biggs's death is like kind of this big moment, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, it's a little light.
But Han and Chewbacca are like, peace.
We're out of here.
I'm not-
We got
this
our
is-
money. He has like crates of money.
Right.
It's like being wheeled by.
And he's
It's
like,
kind of
I don't
awesome.
fucking do this shit. Like,
Yeah,
the whole
and
time
Luke's
Han's
like, come on, I thought you were more than this.
It's
and
like,
Han's
no,
like,
I'm
no,
not.
thank
I
you.
never said I was more than this. I'm looking out for number one. I'm Han Solo, goddammit.
Now, so I just like the simplicity of it. It's basically like if the Phantom Menace had just ended with Anakin taking down the donut ship.
Yeah.
Or if Attack of the Clones had just ended with, I don't even fucking know.
It just had not existed.
It's just, it makes the stakes so much higher.
Luke
rather than
Skywalker.
like, what's happening over here? Oh, what's happening over here? It's just Luke and Vader, who's in his own ship.
But very similar. I mean,
And their various
mirroring
teams.
the end of Phantom Menace. It's like, okay, now Anakin's son is in a similar ship. He
Good
once
pilot.
again has R2
He does.
riding shotgun.
He does.
In the back. Oh,
He
that
does.
droid he bought at the beginning of the movie now fits perfectly into this X-Wing.
yeah, it's an
and this
astromech
guy's
droid.
been around the block.
Yeah. And they're against each other. We're cutting to Tarkin on the Death Star,
Mhm.
kind of being like, ha ha ha, we're going to blow them up.
Yeah.
We're cutting to Leia and 3PO and the other guys at
Mhm.
the Rebel Alliance being like,
Yeah,
we
watch
pull this off.
Yeah.
But it's just this great dogfight. It's so cool.
It's so well done. There's one really stupid CGI shot.
Which one?
It's like the establishing shot where you see them coming around like the red planet. It's dumb.
Oh, it's all right.
But there's the way he makes it, it's so simple and sparse. It feels like you're watching like old newsreel footage.
I
know?
could do a million. I mean, it's. So,
You could talk about this movie for 15,000 hours.
I mean, yeah, I think it's very inspired by World War II
Like newsreel
aerial
footage. Yeah.
fights. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like
No, so-
spaceships we haven't seen before, backdrops, like
Everyone
it's not of the real
dies,
world, but the
too.
visual language of it. One by one,
all
all the
getting
other
picked
guys are
off.
dying off. Luke's the one guy, he's a rookie, but he's got
There's
something.
this weird thing. They need to get into this trench.
Yeah.
So they have to like
To even
drive
hit the
down this
spot.
trench.
Yeah.
And they're being pursued by Vader, and Vader's ship's obviously
And
faster.
can I just say, I love a bad guy like your villain, but he's getting his hands dirty.
Oh, he's in
Yeah.
there.
It's
He's
so
like, get
That's a
my
big
ship
thing.
ready.
Yeah.
fucking
You want to
best.
send some troopers out? And he's like, no, I want to send fucking Darth Vader out.
Whoa.
Me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what
His
else
TIE
I like,
fighter's
though.
like even more curved.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
this compact little thing. But
Yeah.
here's what I like also. Tarkin in the Death Star, they come up to him and they're like, man, they might be able to do this. And he's like, do you want to evacuate? And he's like, no. Are you crazy? I'm not going anywhere.
It's a little like Palpatine in the Clone Wars, where he's like, "Oh, I'll stay here."
I got nothing to say about that.
Anyway,
I mean, there's not even much to analyze about this
Well,
scene,
no, you're
except
missing
that
the
it's
biggest-
amazing.
you're missing the
except
biggest
for-
point.
Well, you mean Han Solo returning?
right? So
Yeah,
the
of
TIE
course.
fighters are coming at him. Oh, Luke's gonna be in trouble. Who comes back? Oh my God, he does care. He has a heart.
I
He's gonna
saw
play
that
it cool.
coming.
I
He's
know,
gonna
we all see
pretend
that coming.
fucking Han Solo,
Well, and
my
it's-
main
but-
guy, right?
No.
Chewbacca,
Here's
the
what's good
Wookiee,
about it.
riding shotgun.
Here's what's good about it. Though.
everything.
Well, yeah, but also it's like Vader's on Luke's ass. He's killed Biggs.
Yeah.
He's killed all these guys. About to kill Luke. Han shoots one of his side pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and Vader goes like, "What?" and like spins out of the trench, spins away,
You don't even know where he is.
and you just see all we need: one shot of Han just going "Yeehaw!" Like that's it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
and Luke is.
And he's like, "Come on, Luke, wrap it up." And Luke's like, "Great, I got it. Bam, it's over.
Well, Luke's in the trench.
It's foregone."
You're missing a big point, though. Luke's in the trench. He's got the shot. He doesn't know if he can make it, and then he hears Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan's like, "You can do it, buddy.
Use the Force.
Turn off your computers."
Use the
Turns
Force,
off the
Luke.
computers. It's so good. He blows up the Death Star. It's great. Tarkin's dead. Fucking, they get medals.
It's a party. At the end of the movie, I mean, it's very similar to the end of Phantom.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
Like, instead of Boss
Except
Nass holding up an orb.
Phantom is like, diplomacy! The Trade Federation has... Its blockade is over, although it still exists.
But it, like, cuts, like, straight to that, essentially.
I
now-
think the victory is just so clear.
Yeah, and we
It's
just
like
want to see a celebration. We want to
Luke
see
and
our
Han
guys
have
getting
joined
their
the
dues.
rebels. They blew up the fucking Death Star, which is an atrocity. That thing is an atrocity.
Yep, sucks.
They blew it up.
I hate it. I'll go on record saying I hate the
hate
Death
it.
Star.
Vader is still alive.
He just spiraled out. We don't know. We don't know where
Well,
he
we
is.
see him just like,
Yeah, but,
know.
like, what's going to happen to Darth Vader now? Let's
the end is awesome.
point
It's
of
just like,
point of contention,
woo!
though. Yeah.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
it's a party. There's no dialogue. Not party. It's like a
is your
ceremony.
point of contention
It's
that
like they're
Chewbacca
being
doesn't get a medal?
well more than that. Okay.
It's a little weird.
So Luke is the one who blew up the Death Star.
Sure.
Totally deserves a medal. No question deserves a medal.
Are you saying Wedge deserves a medal?
Han also gets a medal.
Yeah, for showing up.
I think if Han gets a medal, then everyone should get a
Yeah,
medal.
participation.
I think either you
It's
give
a
one.
participation
Either
medal.
you give one to Luke alone, or you give one to Luke, Han, C-3PO, R2-D2, Chewbacca, Wedge.
I think Wedge should get one. Wedge is the only other survivor.
He's a good guy.
He's cool.
I like
I
him.
think maybe one Y-Wing survives.
You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah, go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, Wedge Antilles, the actor,
Yeah,
is...
Dennis Lawson. Great actor. He's Ewan McGregor's uncle.
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. England's a small place.
So this is the best Star Wars movie.
It's the best. Now,
It's the best of the Phantom Menace series.
It is, so far. We're going to watch the other ones, though.
Yeah, what do you think happens in the next one? The Empire Strikes Back's a great title.
Well, it sounds, sounds dark.
Maybe some of our favorite characters. I mean, George said most of them didn't come back. I'm hoping TC-14, like, because we saw her in this one.
Maybe Darth Maul shows up finally.
God.
We keep predicting.
We gotta clone him. Yeah.
I hope there's like some really awesome new planets, like in like environments
Me
we've
too.
never seen before.
That would be cool. Yeah, because this we mostly saw. It was a very
This
similar
is set on
environment.
Tatooine, and then it's set on the Falcon and the Death Star. And
Yavin
then it's
4 is
set
the forest
on
planet.
Yavin 4, but we really barely see it.
I'd love to
actually.
see some new terrains. Yeah.
No, but I mean, so why do we like this movie? It's simple and clear. Its story is really clear. It's
Yeah.
a battle between good versus evil, and it's a hero accepting, two heroes really, accepting the call.
And it's fun characters, fun, relatable characters who all buck their conventions a lot. I mean, like Mark
It's
Hamill,
not about like political malfeasance
No.
at the what planet don't we see?
Yeah.
Fucking Coruscant.
You could pause.
More like Lamesant.
You could. Hey, nice one. You could pause this movie at any point
Very
in
good.
time,
Thank
showing
you.
it to like.
Everyone's really proud of that. one.
I'm really proud of you,
It's
David.
so good.
You could watch this movie with a 6-year-old and pause it at
Yeah.
any point in time and go, "What are they trying to do?" And they'd be able to tell you they're trying to blow up the Death Star. They're trying to get
What's
out the trash
everyone's
compactor.
motivation here?
Yeah, super clear. You pause during Phantom Menace, they go, there's a guy with a beard, and he's talking to a guy who feels like the dude
it's
who
like,
delivers
the
Chinese
train
food.
blockade has stalled the Senate's deliberations on
Yeah.
and the Jedi's, they're
Nope.
being deployed, but in secret.
And now think about this: there's no '70s politics.
Yep.
In the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
fucking Watergate's happening
Right.
a few
We're
years
not
earlier.
talking about any of that.
Universal mythic storytelling. And like Mark Hamill is not giving a great performance in this, but
No,
it
he's fine.
fucking works. It's a crayon that he uses
Let's do a
powerfully.
Let's do a very brief performance review.
Very brief performance review, okay?
I'm just going to call up Star Wars episode. I'm going to call it up. I've just realized we should totally do a very brief performance review. Where are we, Ben?
You're 75.
Cool. So yeah,
Very brief.
Let's just knock this
Okay.
off, and then guys, we're going to see you next week.
Yeah.
For Empire Strikes Back, right?
I think you mean the podcast strikes back.
That's right. All right, here we go. It's actually pretty hard to call up Star Wars on IMDb. There's a lot of options.
Okay, great.
It's crazy that when
All right. Number one, we have Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker.
Pro, yes, pass.
Pass.
I'm going to give him a fail, but I think he's effective. I don't think
He's
it's a good
fucking
performance,
good.
but they use the character well.
Harrison Ford is Han Solo.
Hard pass. The hardest of passes.
But no, you see, this is what I don't like about the language, because hard pass usually is a negative thing. You know what I mean? Like hard pass.
hard win. Whatever you want to say.
Great. Thumbs
I like
up.
saying hard pass.
2 thumbs up.
Best performance of the 4 films we've seen so far.
Best performance of cinema.
Yep.
Carrie
Yep.
Fisher as Leia Organa.
Pass.
Thumbs up. Peter Cushing as Grand Moff Tarkin.
Pass. You fucking kidding me?
He's the best. Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Pass.
So good. Anthony Daniels as C-3PO.
Pass.
He's
Dude, pulled it
amazing.
off.
Definitely.
Can we
So
finally
good.
say that Kenny Baker really rocked it as R2-D2?
Yeah, he's so good in this.
Peter Mayhew as
Kenny Baker's
Chewbacca.
great. This pass.
So good. David Prowse as Darth Vader. Who's this guy?
I don't know. It must have been the guy in the suit.
He's just in the suit.
Good physicality.
Pass.
He's big. Pass.
Phil Brown as Uncle Owen.
Pass.
Shalay Frazier as Baru.
Pass.
She's great.
You know what? I want to go back. I'm going to give Mark Hamill a pass too.
Yeah, of course. You're outrageous. Do you want me to do them all? There's a lot.
No. We're good. I think we've got
Actually,
the-
you know what? No.
we've got
Jack Purvis is Chief Jawa. The first Jawa. The major Jawa.
Yeah, from Time Bandits, pass.
Alex McCrindle is General Dodonna.
Pass.
Eddie Byrne is General Willard. I don't know who that
You're
is.
gonna pass everybody. We
No,
already
there's
know where
some-
this is going.
well,
Drew Henley is Red Leader. He's pretty good.
he's really good, actually.
He's like an old salty space dog.
We didn't talk about my favorite character.
Well, let's see if we get to him. Red 2, Wedge, Dennis Lawson. He's
Nope.
great.
Pass, but not my favorite character.
Garrick Hagon is Biggs.
Pass, but not my favorite character.
There's Red 4. Is it Red 6? Porkins?
Yep.
Played by William Hootkins,
William-
who I once saw give a great performance as Alfred Hitchcock on the
Really?
London stage. He was fantastic.
He's a fat guy. His name is Porkins. He fucking
He
flies
dies
next
so
way.
fast.
He barely fits in. He didn't even bother to shave. This guy rules. He doesn't even have a beard. He's got fucking stubble. He looks like
dies,
me.
Like his ship like crashes into like a star by mistake. He's so shitty. He like gets to the Death Star and he's like, oh god, and then he's just shot to death.
This movie rules. It's the best Star Wars yet. It's the best movie ever made. Porkins, fucking forever. I love it. Ben, final thoughts.
I gotta say, having done 30 some odd episodes on the
Yeah.
What is
prequels.
this? Yeah, what is this? Like our 36th episode?
I
Something
mean,
like that.
no, I don't know. It was like a nightmare.
By prequels, you mean original trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I called them the prequels too.
Oh right, yeah.
They were the
Excuse me.
first trilogy.
These are the sequels.
But so I recognize we were maybe a little hard on George though throughout that time,
We did.
but
Yeah.
it was tough. Anyway, God, this guy really created something really
The guy
special.
nailed it. It took
I mean, it's
That's true.
amazing.
We should mention, written and directed by George Lucas.
edited by
Ben Burt?
Marshall Lucas. We'll
Oh,
talk
Marshall
about that in
Lucas.
future episodes.
Oh, you're so obsessed with that.
I'm obsessed with that. I got a lot of things to say left in that. Thank you
no,
so much for
you said
listening.
enough on the fucking commentary.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for listening, guys.
Rate, review, subscribe, email us, griffindavidpresent@gmail.com
What do you think? Blank check? What do you guys think?
or griffindavidpresent. And also, give me your address. I'll send you a motherfucking Comtech chip.
He will.
And guess what? Some of them are from this movie.
It's true.
I wasn't even mentioning it before.
You gave me Qui-Gon, though. I have a Qui-Gon.
Yeah, I mean, they're mostly from the Phantom, but I got a couple. I have Wur the bartender. I have
Oh,
Wur.
Wur, the bartender who doesn't want droids in his.
I have a Han Solo. You might get that. So email me. I'll send you a Comtech chip. We love you all so much.
You guys are the best.
And as always, may the Force be with you.